Thank you.
Yeah.
This first time I've been here.
Yeah.
I used to listen to your tapes a long time ago
Yeah.
with my husband. He has since passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm finding fear and blame and just upheaval in a way that all of this sounds really great,
Yeah.
but you don't know what I'm going through.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's a really strong statement, and it's true too. It's accurate, true, because your inner being is like us. And when you feel the way you're feeling, two things are important for you to know about that. You're right. We aren't resonating with that because we don't feel that way. But the second most important part is the reason you feel that way is because you are not feeling the way your inner being feels. In other words, what you're feeling feels like it's for all of these reasons, and they're valid and justified. We get it. But what you're feeling is the deprivation of yourself from yourself. Feel the circle of this. I don't feel like my inner being feels, and because I don't feel like my inner being feels, I feel like I feel. I feel like I feel because I don't feel like my inner being feels. This is the way somebody feels who's not in connection with their inner being. It feels like you can't get there from there, but you can. You don't always feel fear, do you?
I guess it's more, yeah, it's fear, but it's also, I question every single thing.
All right, so just give us one question at a time. We'll give you an answer. And some of your questions, the answers will satisfy you, and some of them won't. Try to be succinct, but I question everything. Big question?
Financial.
What's the question? Do I deserve money? Yes.
Will I be able to stay in my house? Those are the kind of questions
Well,
I have.
you see, this is what we want to help you to discover. Now, we're just asking you, and the conversations that have come before are perfect preparation for this, so this will be easier for you. So feel the difference between the wobbly question, will I be able to stay in my house, and the statement, I want to stay in my house.
With MailChimp, you can design more engaging marketing assets in no time at all, thanks to our AI-powered.
Can you feel a difference in those?
Yeah.
And if you say, will I be able to stay in my house? I hope I can stay in my house. Will I be able to stay in my house? I want to stay in my house. No momentum ever happens because you wobble, 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 wobble. But if you say, I want to stay in my house, I want to stay in my house, I want to stay in my house, what happens is, before long, you become a vibrational match to your inner being who says, you're staying in your house, 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 you're staying in your house. I want to stay in my house, you're staying in your house. I want to stay in my house, you're staying in your house. And then pretty soon you're saying, I'm staying in my house, I'm staying in my house. And you can't feel that sureness and that insecurity at the same time. And the thing that we really want to explain to you is, you see, it feels to you that you didn't have any choice about your husband making his transition, and you didn't, because you don't create his reality. So it feels to you like something really big and really bad that you didn't have a choice in has happened, and now that's why you're questioning everything. What do I have choices about? And we say, you have choices about whether you stay in your house or not. If you decide that you're going to stay in your house and you don't wobble with all of that insecurity, then you become a vibrational match to your inner being who knows that you can do whatever you're wanting to do. And after a little while of that, that insecurity goes away, but you have to practice it. If you decided that you were going to find out how stable you are as a physical human, and you decided that you were just going to lie on your couch for a month or two, and maybe you have a willing friend who will slip food under your door. Maybe you have a long tube that puts something into your mouth occasionally. But you, for the most part, just lie there on your couch. Just lie there and lie there and lie there and lie there. So you don't practice any of your muscles of balance or stability. You don't practice the upright position at all. The muscles of your body begin acclimating to all that's needed for them to lie on the couch, which isn't hardly very much, just a little bit of arm action to get the chips off the coffee table. And so when you stand up, you're going to be pretty wobbly. You haven't used those muscles, and so they're not ready for you. And then you wouldn't just leap up and go running down the street. You'd have a very hard time because those muscles have atrophied. You have not utilized them. And that's what happens with your thought muscles too. As you feel discouraged, or as you feel depressed, or as you feel lonely, and all of those things are certainly natural. But if those are the vibrational muscles that you're practicing, then you find yourself feeling more and more insecure and less efficient. And the thing about the universe and its response to you is that it's attraction, attraction, attraction. And the vibrational muscles, the thought muscles that you are practicing, is the way the universe responds to you. So when you feel insecure, the universe responds by giving you more reasons to feel insecure. You meet up with others that feel insecure, and the support groups are not that supporting. They're supporting your insecurity, not your security. That would be a support group. We support you in all your problems. You got a problem, come to us, we'll amplify it. We'll help you defend it, you see. But when you realize that you would not lie on the couch, you might want to, but you would get up and you would move around. And don't you notice the way your body responds? Your body responds very quickly to the decisions that you make. Everything, the entire universe responds quickly to the decisions that you make. So you've just got to make a decision. Am I insecure or am I secure? Do I want to feel good or do I want to feel bad? Is life over for me, or have I got a whole bunch of wonderful life ahead of me? You just make those decisions one at a time until you regain your connection to your source and you regain your momentum. You know, if you practice feeling good, there's a momentum that literally will propel you through anything. That's the way momentum is, you see. It'll take you to places that you didn't even know you could go. But once you get that momentum going, off you go. Yes? So we know that was helpful. We know it made you feel better. So do you have another question? That was a good question. It really brought a good answer, didn't it?
I find that...
Now wait, think about what you're doing here. Think about what you're doing, because you're making statements. You're practicing your muscles right now. So which muscle are you practicing with this next sentence that you're about to offer us?
Well,
are you arguing for your limitations?
No, I want to live in the solution of whatever is going on. The uncertainty.
Now wait a minute.
It makes me a little crazy, but I am trying to... I say yes to everything. I try not to stay in
We appreciate you so much, but you're not even trying yet, and it's all right. Words don't really matter, and so we're not really asking you to choose words that you don't mean, but we are asking you to feel the point of attraction of the words that you are using. So when you use a word like uncertainty, flesh it out a little bit and make it a nicer word to you. I know there's lots of choices that I will be making, and things will clear up in time. Isn't that a nicer way than saying uncertainty?
Yeah.
When you say, it's crazy making, or it makes me crazy, can't you say something that's a little nicer to you? I'm a stable girl. The reason that I even can recognize what crazy is because I know what stability is, and I prefer stable to crazy. Who is it in your world that is enjoying your chronic complaining? Is there anybody that's enjoying your chronic complaining? You're sure not. Esther said to a friend, after Jerry made his transition, a friend of hers, his wife made her transition, and they were talking one night over dinner, and he said to Esther, I'm just feeling so damn sorry for myself. And Esther really heard that because she thought, ooh, I'm doing some of that too. I'm doing some of that too. And it is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's all right to miss someone. It's natural that you do. And it's all right to acknowledge the benefit that they provided when they were there. It's natural that you would. But feeling sorry for yourself, or actually choosing to point out the hardship that you're living, you can never get over hardship when that's your pattern. You just can't do it, you see. Do you think your inner being is feeling sorry for you? Because when you are, it sucks, doesn't it? Because your inner being knows your strength, and when you don't, you feel, your inner being isn't agreeing with you. And we are standing here as a verbal representation of your inner being, you see. So, of course you feel wobbly, but you don't need to all the time. And often you don't, but that's not what you're talking to us about right now. You're not telling us the story about how you woke up one morning and you sort of got full of yourself and you went out and the day was beautiful again until you felt guilty about the day being beautiful. You didn't tell us that story. You didn't tell us how much fun you're having in your newfound freedom and autonomy. You're not telling us any of those stories. You're not telling us about how you like being in charge of your life and how it's nice not to have a damn compromise every time you turn around, that you're getting to do what you want, that you're getting to order what you want to eat. You're not just eating the other half of what somebody else wants to eat. You're not telling us any of those stories.
Well, there's definitely
You're
more
not telling
root
us
beer
about how
in
you
my
get to
house.
spend your money the way you want to spend your money. You're not telling us about the restrictions being lifted. You're not telling us any of those stories of freedom because you feel guilty because you think you're supposed to feel sad for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
What's going on? How's everyone doing this Wednesday? I'm glad to see you guys. Let me pin myself. There we go. Hi, IG. How we doing? What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us again on another Woke Wednesday. Shauna, I may have spoken too soon. She's probably going to bother us. Are you going to bark? Anyway, so I'm just regrouping because we had an amazing call. If you guys are not jumping on the Trade House Queens calls on Wednesdays, you're missing out on some really amazing stuff. We had a discussion with Miss Northeast on the convoy and personal freedom and just rights, civil rights, and all the crap that's going on in today's world, in not only America, but in Canada and in all nations. And it's just really, really interesting to hear someone who has such influence, her opinion. And it was a really, really beautiful discussion. And it ties into a lot of the things we talk about on Woke Wednesdays, is how to take your power back and how to get in tune with your higher self so that you can feel, and the key word is feel, so that you can feel in control. Because the truth of the matter is that we are in control. We're always in control, but we're only in control of one thing: us. We cannot control our neighbor. We cannot control the president. We cannot control our governments. We cannot control anyone except ourselves. And we can only control how we respond or react to outside circumstances. Now, we can react, meaning with all the stuff that's going on, we could have been reacting, and reacting is negative. Whenever we react, that's negative. Think of like a reaction. If you get like a rash from an ointment, or like, whatever, like you had a bad reaction, or like two chemicals touch each other and there's a chemical reaction, that's usually negative. So that's how you can kind of associate the two. And responding is, yes, exactly. And responding is when you actually have the chance to think before you regurgitate whatever it is that you're thinking in your mind. You're able to come up with something instead of just a reaction. Right? So if we as individuals are able to respond to what goes on in our environment instead of reacting, we might see some different results, right? And that goes for everything in our personal life too, not just what goes on in society, in the world, what's been going on with, this pandemic and stuff like that. That ties into what you do on your day-to-day in your every single day life, right? I don't know if you guys know the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's one of my all-time favorite prayers, quotes, whatever. source, higher being, higher knowledge, inner self, grant me the peace, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, my environment, the things around me, the courage to change the things I can, myself, the way I respond to certain situations, and the wisdom to know the difference. When you actually understand that prayer, things in your life will change. I learned that and I utilize that in almost every single aspect of my life. Right? So just being aware of yourself and how you can change the world by changing yourself. It's like that quote, be the change you wish to see. If you want to see world peace, be a peaceful person. Show peace in your everyday life. Lead by example. It all starts with one, right? If we all started becoming what we wanted to see in the world, or becoming the type of people that we see in our mind that we want to be, what type of world would this be if every single one of us became who we truly wanted to be? Would this be a totally different world that we live in? Would so many people be complying to things that they don't believe in? Would people be working jobs that they hate? Would people be in relationships that they don't want to be in? Would people be in relationships they wanted to be in? Would we have racism? Would we have hate crime? I mean, the list goes on and on if we all could just get in tune with ourselves. Get tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Tuned in, tapped in, turned on with yourself. Become the change you wish to see. Sounds cliche, but that's it. That's it. Right? So when we talk about freedom, when we talk about justice, and we talk about, all of these types of things, expression and love, it's like it all comes back to one thing. Every individual making a decision. Am I going to stand up for what I believe in? Or am I just going to follow suit because that is what everyone else around me does? But where would we be today if everyone just followed suit? If we didn't have certain key figures in our history, where would we be? Martin Luther King. Think about someone like him standing up, speaking up for the people to make change. He was becoming the change he wanted to see. And that is true freedom. When no matter what people say around you or what people are doing around you matters to you and you walk your own path, you cannot be messed with energetically, mentally, spiritually. When you walk your own path and you are in tuned, tapped in, and turned on with your higher being and your mental faculties, no one and nothing can touch you. Because guess what? You then have all of the power. If you can control yourself, you have all the power. If you are a follower, you're giving someone else the power. Yes or yes? You're allowing someone else to make an opinion or a decision for you. Right? Be the change you wish to see. And it all stems back to all the things we talk about. Old paradigms, shifting your mindset, becoming aware, becoming knowledgeable, getting in tune with your higher being, getting in tune with God or source. Right? We as a people have to start to get unconditioned, if that makes sense. We have to learn from previous mistakes. We have to learn from history how to change for the future. Because the future is the present. The future is the present. So if we don't change now, the future will just be the same. Do you want that for your children? Are there things you don't like about what's going on in today's world that you wouldn't want, that you would want your children growing up in? Take a stand for yourself. Be true to yourself. Above all else, love yourself. Because if we don't love ourselves, that is why we become followers. Because loving yourself means trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, how can you have your own opinion or make your own decisions about things? I don't think that you can. So I think the main thing here is that we have to learn how to love ourselves. How do you learn to love yourself? First thing I would say is take care of yourself. We've been given one vessel, right? We've been given one vessel. This body. If you're feeding this vessel crap, chemically modified, disgusting, sugary drinks and processed, nasty foods, you're not respecting this vessel. If you were given a Rolls Royce, would you allow people to eat in it? Would you allow people to smoke in it? I don't think so. Treat your body like a Rolls Royce. Eat. Please eat. Eat lots of food. I love food. But eat the right food. Fuel your body with the right nutrients, the right things that it needs to fuel. Everything that you feed your physical affects your mental. If you're eating fast food every single day, you're cutting yourself off to being more in tune. There's certain chemicals in our food that turns off your ability to higher consciousness, to get in tune with higher consciousness. Aluminum. There's so many. Fluoride, your toothpaste. There's certain chemicals in our products, in our foods, that cut us off from being able to tap into our third eye. And this is all on purpose, right? So are you going to be a leader in yourself, or are you going to be a follower and just continue on this path? We have to take control of ourselves, of our minds, of our bodies in order to change that paradigm. We've all been conditioned. And I'm not saying that this is always a bad thing. I'm sure some of us have been brought up with really good ideals, have been brought up in really great homes, have had really good lessons taught to them. I'm not saying that this is always the case, but there are certain things that were taught along the way that might not necessarily be conducive to higher education, to getting in tune with a higher consciousness, to really succeeding in life the way that you desire. We've been taught that money doesn't grow on trees. Guess what? It does. There's so many, like even being taught that you have to go to college in order to get a good job. I didn't get this job by going to college. This isn't even a job. I love this. I love talking to you guys. I love getting on here every Wednesday. I love my clients. I love my students. I love what I do. I didn't go to college for it. Right? My grandfather was one of the wealthiest people that I personally knew. God rest his soul. He passed this January, but he was a high school dropout. He was illiterate until the day he died. He couldn't even write a check, and he was a multimillionaire. How do you explain that? His teacher, one of his teachers, he always told us this, literally told him he would amount to nothing. He was illiterate. He asked my father how to spell school when my dad was in high school. If a man with that little education could pursue such a high level of success, why can't any of you? Why can't I? You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to love yourself. My grandfather told me on his deathbed, never settle. Never settle. That was one of the last things he said to me, never settle. Be true to who you are. Be true to who you are. Do the things that most will not to get the things that most don't have. What does this come back to? Self-control, self-discipline, understanding that we can only control the way we respond to certain situations. Now, my grandfather could have said, that teacher's right. I'm never going to amount to nothing. I can barely write. I can barely read. And he could have went in a totally different direction. But he basically said that I'm going to walk my own path. And he built an empire. And he leaves behind a legacy in the pet industry. You can Google him. And he literally comes up on Google. Do that for yourself. Don't settle. Don't be a follower, be a leader. respond to situations, don't react. Reacting would be saying, oh, getting all mad and lowering your vibration and becoming negative, all because one person said one thing. No, we don't do that. We respond intelligently, and we create, and we manifest, and we love, and we believe, and we grow. We are beings that our soul just wants to grow. That's all it wants to do. We came here to this planet. We came to be human beings to grow and learn. That is the only reason that we are here. So if you're looking for your purpose, there you go. Your purpose is to learn. Your purpose is to grow. Never stop learning. Educate yourself. That is our purpose. Our soul needs to grow. Serve, be a servant leader, give. That's how you ascend. Shit. I give what I don't freaking have. I give because it makes me feel good. When you give, doesn't it make you feel good? Maybe like there's some psychopaths out here, but like most of the time when you give, it feels good. I feel so good. I feel so good when I go out to dinner with a friend and I'm like, I'm paying for it. That makes me feel good. Not because it's to say, oh, I got it. It's like, no, I got it. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being my friend. I give my knowledge, my opinion, my love to all of you every Wednesday because it makes me feel good. You have to do what makes you feel good. Always do what makes you feel good. If it does not make you feel good, get rid of it. And I'm not just talking about things. I'm mainly talking about people. If there are people in your life who are not conducive to the goals and dreams that you have, get rid of them. Because we are not in control of how those people react or respond to what we want and what we are doing, but we have the control of ourselves to remove them from our situations and remove them from our environment so that we can what? Grow. Oh, thanks, Brian. I'm so happy I could give you some advice. I love that. I love that. It's a battle because, you know, sometimes it might be someone very close to you. And you might be thinking like, how could I get rid of maybe a parent? Not all of our parents are supportive and loving and caring. I'm sorry, but blood isn't always thicker than water. Go through some life experience. You'll learn that. Not everyone's on your side all the time. Most of the time, family, and, you know, maybe not most of the time, but some of our family members are not the ones cheering on us on and rooting us on. Sometimes those are the people in the back stabbing you in the back. They don't want to see you win. Surround yourself with people who have what you want. People who cheer you on for going after your dreams or your goals, no matter how illogical or crazy they may seem to some people. I would sit here in my room for hours and not make any money. And I would get support, like, I'm glad, go for it. And then there would be some days where I would get the shit list type of thing, Maybe you should do this. I don't think this is a good idea. Everything you could think of. But I walk my own path. Because guess what? We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we only live on this plane once, as far as we know or can remember, most of us. We only get to live this physical embodiment once. Life is for living. If you didn't hear that, here it is again. Life is for living. Don't forget that. Don't let anyone stop you from what you truly want to be doing. Whether that's a parent, a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a brother, a sister. Not on your watch. You're not going to stop me from getting everything I deserve. No one can stop you. Guess who can? You. You are in control of you and only you. So if someone or something is in your way, remove them. The purpose of life is to find your gift. The meaning of life is to give it away. I love that. I've heard that before. Thanks, Eddie. Pablo Picasso. Giving more than you receive, and the universe will pay attention. Trust me. When do you personally draw the line to give time to those who may be draining your energy? That's a really good question. And it's something that I actually had discussed with my shaman on Saturday. I see an energy healer quite often just because I'm like annoying and I like to pick his brain. He loves me, but well, maybe one day I'll have him on the call. Ooh, that would be great. But I asked him because he did a chakra balance on me and he was like, whoa, girl, you're out of whack. And I'm like, I know, I feel so drained. I'm exhausted. I'm empathic, which a lot of people are. That's not like special or anything. It just means that you take on people's energy. We're energetic beings, right? So it's normal and natural to take on other people's energies, but it's not positive, right? So when you're aware that you're being drained of energy, try to like match it, like go back and think, okay, can you pinpoint it to a specific situation? Can you pinpoint it to a circumstance? Can you even pinpoint it to a specific person or group of people? If so, take yourself out of the situation because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Remember that. You cannot pour from an empty cup no matter how hard you try. I've done it. I've tried. It does not work. I've literally had to lay in my bed for 24 hours because I was so physically exhausted and mentally exhausted from my soul being exerting too much energy, if that makes sense. So when you feel like someone or a group of people or something is draining your energy, you have to take time for you. And what does that mean? Really getting into meditation is so important, and becoming aware of like your own breath and being able to come back to that. Because like I said, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you have to refill your cup, and you also have to be able to recognize who they are when the energy is being drained by them, and be able to literally protect yourself by saying things out loud. It doesn't have to be to them, but it could be even like if you go to the bathroom or something and you're just like, okay, this is not happening to me. This is not going to happen today. I am not going to take on your energy. I will not be affected by this energy today. Let the universe know, let that person's energy know vibrationally that you are not going to accept their negativity or their energy today. Whenever you walk into a room of people, ground yourself, protect yourself. Imagine that there is a white light almost like beaming from the moon, beaming straight down and pouring over you. This white light is just pouring over you, almost like a bubble surrounding you. And it's almost like your energy field, right? And nothing can get in through that light. Nothing can get in through it. This is your protection bubble. Everything has to be visual for us. You guys know that, right? We think in pictures, we think in images. Everything is in an image for us. So to understand, visualize that there is a ray of white light surrounding you and nothing can get into it. Whenever you walk into a room of people, whenever you're getting on a call and you have to speak, there's so many different circumstances where this could happen, where you have to protect yourself, and you can literally say out loud or to yourself, I will not accept this energy. I will not accept this negativity. I will not accept this today. And there you go. That's a way to ground yourself. Also, just like simple meditation. Simple meditation. I hope that helped. But like, take some time for yourself. Like, take a hot shower, and like literally water renews yourself. Like, water will like wash away. It sounds crazy, but water will wash away any energy that's not supposed to be there. Also, like Bodhi beads, I wear these to protect myself from other people's energies. Shauna, our bracelets also. These are really good because there's tourmaline in them. Tourmaline is really good for protection. I have tourmaline literally right here. I have a big rock of it. And I keep it with me when I do calls and stuff because I'm protecting my energy. See, even through the internet, even through just me being able to be around you guys, I could take on your energy. Like, Shauna, I'm sure before you even felt, we were on a call with one of our friends and she wasn't feeling right. And I, for one, was starting to feel it. And I asked her to ground herself. And I had to ground myself. I said, take some breaths. I had to take some breaths because I was taking on her energy. Yes, Brian. Yes. Remind me of that. you have to protect yourself at all costs because your energy is the most important thing. You have to protect yourself at whatever cost that may be. Removing yourself from something that you may want to be doing, but knowing that it's not good for you, you might have to remove yourself. And that's okay. And the people will understand eventually. Maybe not now, maybe not ever. But you know what? As long as it feels good to you, that's all that matters, because we have to only do things that feel good to us. Yes, I have one that I hope is very good. Take your power back was something that we were discussing on the call earlier. And it's really, really important, especially with yesterday being 2/22/22. This is a really big time of transformation. It's not only was it the last time that that sequence of 6 2s being together will happen in the next century, but Pluto, the planet Pluto, cycled around each zodiac, each 12 zodiacs. So it did a full birth cycle. So Pluto is now back in the United States. And what this means is, and it's in Capricorn. So this is a big time of transformation. This is a big time. The last time that this happened was when the Declaration of Independence was signed July 4th, 1776. That was the last time that Pluto made a complete birth cycle around the 12 zodiacs. So what does Pluto have to do with taking your power back and how you've been feeling energetically? You may have been feeling drained recently. You may have been feeling like things haven't been getting done. You may have been feeling like you're ready for something new, but it's just not there yet. Pluto is here to give you that transformation. It's a time of renewal, specifically because it's in Capricorn. It's a time of power struggles ending. It's a time of unity and connectedness. So make sure that you are doing things to, again, protect your energy. It's a time where you can connect with other people in your circle or end certain circles that you're in and open yourself up to new circles. This may be a time for new connections in work, in your personal life. This is a time for relationships, right? And that could also mean relationship within yourself, right? So you really want to just cleanse your space, maybe like clean your room, clean your house, light some sage, open all the windows and doors, not with, oh my God, I can't even, one of my friends, I'm not even going to say it. He's on the live, so he knows who he is. If you don't have sage, wait till you have sage. Don't use anything else. Sage your space, cleanse your space, meditate, take a hot bath, go for a walk in nature, right? Write down your intentions, write down your goals. If the year didn't start off the way you wanted to, start it now. This is a time for transformation. This is a time where you're going to be able to build on your goals, build on the things you've been wanting. Okay? So take this seriously. All right. Well, that was a long one. I have a meditation. Who's ready? Yay. Okay. All right. So get into a comfortable seated position. Maybe turn the lights off if you feel like that's going to help you. Start with one deep breath in. And let it out verbally. That always helps. Always let your breath out verbally. And here we go, guys. Enjoy this 10-minute meditation.
Welcome to the Daily Calm. Let's start today's session by finding a comfortable position.
All straight back. Allow your arms to rest gently. When you're ready, close your eyes. Bring full attention to this very moment. Settling in and allowing the mind and body to stay. And with openness, patience, and curiosity, bring your awareness to the breath. Taking a deep breath in and releasing it fully. Follow the breath as it flows in and out of your body. And taking one last deep breath before letting the breath settle. Allowing it to feel natural and easy. Don't try to force the breath or regulate it in any way. Just allow it to flow naturally on its own. And we'll scan down the body now, concentrating our attention from part to part. Start by bringing your attention to the top of your head and scalp, feeling whatever's happening in this area. You might feel tingling or heat, throbbing or soft vibrations. There may be strong sensation, or you might not feel much at all. Now lower your attention to your forehead, face, and jaw. Allow the muscles here to relax. next out breath, let that sensation dissolve. Lower your focus to the neck, letting the throat and sides and back of the neck soften. Notice any sensation that arises on the surface of the skin or deeper within. Now bring your attention to your shoulders, noticing if there's any tension or strain. Breathe into your shoulders, and if any parts feel tight, allow them to relax. Extend your awareness down the arms, towards the wrists, palms, and fingers. On the next out breath, allow them to soften. Now come to the chest, observing the rise and fall of each breath. Notice how the lungs expand and contract. Direct your attention to your upper and lower back. There may be some intensity, as this is an area where we commonly hold stress. If you notice any tension or warmth or discomfort, just observe what's there. With each breath you take, soften just a little bit more. Moving your focus around to your abdomen. Notice it expanding, filling up with air, and slowly emptying on the exhale.
Mm-hmm.
Then bring your attention to your pelvis. Notice where your body makes contact with the ground or your chair. And direct your breath into this area, relaxing into stillness. Now scan your legs, observing your thighs. Notice where they make contact with your cushion or chair. Lowering your attention to your knees and your shins and calves. Let your legs soften and tensions release. When you're ready, breathe into your ankles, your feet and toes. Let them relax and become soft, sinking into a state of relaxed awareness. And as we near the end of the session, take a moment to notice how you feel. You may find that you're more relaxed, as this is often a common outcome of meditation. And this is one of the reasons why it's so helpful to meditate during times of stress. When we're experiencing stress, our amygdala fires up and it's difficult to make thoughtful decisions. So if we find our mind is clouded due to overwhelm, we can use meditation as a tool to calm the mind down. Ideally, we want to meditate in a preventative way so we don't get to that point. But the practice is here for you whenever you need it. And as we near the end of the session, bring your attention back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And slowly open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Calm. I invite you to bring this state of peace with you into the day. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.
You guys can open your eyes. Sorry if there was any distraction throughout. Someone was trying to speak to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Woke Wednesday as much as I did. I love every single one of you. I'm super grateful for you, and I can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Also, that was a really good meditation for just becoming present in your body, present with yourself. And that's why I did that meditation, being aware of each and every one of your body parts. And just, it's a really good one for beginners. And they do one of those for free on YouTube every single day, those calm meditations. So you can look into them. But again, enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully you're calm and peaceful. And I will see you